Alright guys, going into the next game here at the WCS Challenger League Qualifier, we have in our best of 3 in round, in the first game of the best of 3, once again, a Terran versus Terran, starting up to the top right of Daybreak, where for NS Hosa it is Jjakji, and starting to the bottom left of the map for SKT1, we have Mercury.
Mercury definitely the underdog here. No listed televised matches in StarCraft 2, and he's up against Jjakji, who's not only a GSL champion, but has several streaks, and even I think once an all-kill in GSTL. So yeah, he definitely got at least one all-kill.
Yeah, Jjakji is doing really well, and he also did well at MLG. In the end, he lost to Rain, but it was a really close series, and he is definitely a strong contender to get a seat, to get a slot in the Challenger League in Code A. So I would expect him to be the favorite here as well. Mercury, on the other hand, being a player on SKT1, will definitely have a trick or two up his sleeve that Jjakji has to be prepared for. And Terran versus Terran is actually a really interesting matchup in Heart of the Swarm now.
Yeah, with the boosters, late game can be pretty crazy if either player goes for bio. Marine tank is still quite common. Mech play is common. So are these crazy Hellion drops that we've been seeing. I don't think we're going to see that this game, but it's entirely possible.
What we definitely see is an early gas here for Mercury. So he's the one who takes his first refinery. Jjakji, on the other hand, starting to the top right, is now heading out with one of his scouting SCVs. And you can really see in the maiden base that he did not get a refinery yet, just now dropping one. But he is way behind his opponent when it comes to the gas mining.
Yeah. As he begins to construct his refinery, Mercury is already mining. Let's see what type of player this guy is. No one has ever seen him before. Literally, this is his first time he's on TV.
Yeah, so far the build that he chose looks a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
We have him with the supply depot and out the front to make sure that this SCV does not get in, and that was close timing, but he pulled it off.
This is actually a really normal build by Mercury in all regards for aggression, as you said. Jjakji's build is a little bit more strange. He could go for a Reaper now, to get some scouting information, or just make his factory but have a faster command center. Mercury, meanwhile, does start his factory. No second gas just yet, but he could start it in just a second with the next resources he gets.
Needs to, yes, lifts the 2 supply depots just in time, takes down the SCV, but he knows about the reactor now and about the switch, so a few scouting information here for Mercury. Jjakji, even though already having 2 Marines on the low ground, was not able to prevent the SCV from going up the ramp.
Yep, not quite so. Jjakji's just doing a reactor expand, command center on the low ground, so he's going to have a heavy amount of Marine production very soon. He's going to have to rely on those Marines, which will have no upgrades to defend against possible Banshee harass or a Marine drop. So this is a risky build by Jjakji, but it's just, you know, it's on the edge of safety, really.
Yeah. We're with the expansion, now heading into factory, already having the reactor, while of course at the bottom left of the map the starport is being built for Mercury. And as you can see, he decides to go into Hellions. He always has the choice to using a few Widow Mines here, which is of course a build that has been used quite frequently in Terran versus Terran these days, but he plays it a little bit more standard, going into the Marines and the Hellions to go for a Marine Hellion attack with the first Medivac.
Yeah. This is a pretty intense attack when you go for this type of build that Jjakji has gone for. And he's getting his own tech out here, but it's just a little bit delayed. He's not going to have a Viking as quickly. You can see the SCV count is relatively similar, but that's going to change as Jjakji is now finishing his command center, making it into an orbital.
We have a really nice unique positioning for Mercury on the map. He not only controls the Zelnaga watchtower, but had this one Hellion over to the left the entire time, so he would have seen any kind of attack on ground. And now he's trying to move in here, trying to at least take a few hit points away from those Marines, but nice trap here by Jjakji. He was ready on the high ground, loses one of the Marines, but severely damages the Hellions.
Yeah, the Hellions now not as powerful as they were with the push initially. Got a Medivac coming across the map, but uh-oh. Walking into a trap here on a line of sight blocker. That was a bit weird how he did that.
Everything that's going on the other hand, he knows about the Medivac hacking into space. Oh, nice control here by Jjakji. Kills one of the Hellions, saves his own, needs to repair it though. Well, shouldn't lead with it into the fight, and he doesn't.
Yep, really nicely done, and this is cleaned up so hard.
Look at the control, the Hellion is still alive, and he nearly pulled one of the other ones away in time. That was the perfect defense by Jjakji.
Jjakji is leagues ahead now.
This is like Gaara in Naruto. This is the perfect defense that he has here. It's the sand shield that he's throwing out. That was so well done.
I mean, this is like
Chakra infused Hellions, oh yeah.
That was a brilliant defense from Jjakji. Yeah, if you look at the supplies, only 7-up, but he has much more than the soft drink 7-up has. He has 2 command centers. He's got a large force on the ground here. He's got the tech. He's got the infrastructure. Mercury, knowing he's behind, starts a fast, risky 3rd command center to try to catch up.
Bottom left now, yeah, the command center here for Mercury. Of course, as Wolf already mentioned, he wants to go into the WCS as he realizes that he's behind in economy, trying to catch up here, but he is far behind. Siege tanks are now just moving in for Mercury. Jjakji, on the other hand, being supplier blocked a little bit here, builds another supply depot immediately, has the Marines in the main base trying to make sure that he is now prepared for another drop if it's coming. But he's the one who now put those Hellions out on the map, controls the Zanaga watchtower, has the better economy, has the double mule, goes into the additional SCV production. So this is a really great position for Jjakji, not only being ahead in overall supply, but being ahead overall in the game.
Yeah. Jjakji is even going to go for his own drop now. Unfortunately for him, Mercury has the drop defense set up. 3rd base is going down meanwhile, but with the booster he should be able to escape there.
And he does. Viking now, of course, guarding the air territory here around the base. The 2nd command center is already done for Mercury, but he is still behind. And Jjakji, he's not pulling a lazy one here. He's going into the command center at the 3rd base right now, building it on the ground. He knows exactly that the options for Mercury to be aggressive are very limited.
They're so limited right now. And even though Mercury has his command center slightly faster, Jjakji's command center is on the ground, already moved over. He's going to be able to make it an orbital on site with SCVs mining at it. So Mercury has to turtle up here a little bit and hope for Jjakji to make a mistake. That's why he's got this really nice drop defense set up right now.
Jjakji, on the other hand, he's really relying on those Marines a lot. Once he pulls them away, he needs to make sure that the Viking at the top is patrolling a little bit to cover more ground. But for him, it's important to just ensure that there is no 3rd base for Mercury. Yes, the Terran player for SKT1 has another command center in the main base, but he can only use it to get additional SCVs out and to use mules.
Yeah. Look at what Jjakji's adding in his main. He's at 3 more barracks, getting his upgrades for his bio. Stim is on the way, +1 is on the way. All of these things that Mercury's very behind on. Mercury is getting, however, 2 engineering bays, so he can catch up and get ahead in upgrades if he manages to hit his armory well and start double upgrades at the same time, which he can barely afford as it is, but he needs to do that. It's really important for him. That's one way he might be able to get himself back into this game.
And you know, talking about the upgrades, let's have a quick look at them. We don't have a single one. Well, there's nothing to look at this point. This is actually not me missing the hotkey, that's them not upgrading anything so far. +1/+1 has been started here for Mercury. He's going into the double upgrades with Engineering Bay, while we have Stim coming up a little bit later for the SKT1 player. The important thing in this game, of course, is the 3rd base for Jjakji. That's already mining, that is giving him an income and the advantage over Mercury. And now he will also be able to get the double upgrades out if he builds a 2nd Engineering Bay and also getting his armory right now.
Yeah. This is... Oh, he's going to need to control these Hellions, get some good hits on the Marines, but does not want to lose more than one. I guess that's 100 for 100 resources lost there.
Yep. And of course the scouting information that he just gained. Marines everywhere on the map for Jjakji. Upgrades only, the Stimpack being researched so far, +1 just finished. But Jjakji still seems to not have a 2nd engineering bay, which he actually does. He didn't start the upgrades though. I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, I agree. What is that structure that Jjakji has up there? Oh, it's a medevac with units. I was like, why is there like a barracks over there?
No, yeah.
I was really confused.
He sent it over. But yeah, at this point right now, if you just look at what's happening here, I think it was a mistake by Jjakji not to not start the double upgrades.
Yeah.
He must have just missed the hotkey, or yeah, didn't have enough resources, but now he's going into double upgrades. But this slight mistake puts him in a position where he could have been farther ahead than he already is.
Yeah, pretty true. And there's going to be a moment where he's even, because his opponent has 1-1 and he only has... well, actually, he's going to be behind for a brief period of time. Because it's going to be +1 versus 1-1. And then he'll have +2, and that'll even out. So you need to start... start to just make sure every engagement he takes is a careful one, because you never want to fight down on upgrades.
Harvester count is fairly similar. Now the income kinda evened out. If you just look at the army supply, Jjakji is of course in a huge lead given the army supply. That's one of the things that you can... Oh shit! He lost both of them. Oh my god.
That one group of medevacs that was waiting there, or that one group of Marines that was waiting there.
That could have been worse.
I mean,
I was about to say he has to be careful with the medivacs, and then I was like, no! But yeah, he loses both.
I feel like Mercury is probably... He probably just went into chat, typed GG, and deleted it, and he was like, oh, I probably just quit, but I'm so far behind in this game.
That was horrible to watch. Even the second one doesn't get out of there. It was like, oh my god. Oh well. I guess that's not the most comfortable position to be in. Mercury being down 50 supply. And also going to be down in upgrades fairly soon.
Yeah, and he's also going to find Jjakji's army knocking on his door while he's dealing with drops. Meanwhile, the Vikings over here is still really well positioned, so Jjakji loses one drop, but he's going for the main attack here, and I don't think Mercury has enough to defend, even with the upgrades he has here.
The siege tanks are sieging up right now, but the siege tanks of Jjakji are in a really good spot to take down the orbital command here. They do so much damage. The medivac granting the vision. He has to lift, and well, the lift bro has just been answered. Yes, Mercury does, but only the orbital command, and that's one of the things that you definitely don't want to lift all the high.
Jjakji having some vision problems here, and I'm not talking about his contact lenses, I'm talking about his Vikings. He needs that comsat sweep to be able to move forward with his siege tanks carefully. He ends up losing a medevac.
This is one of the situations where Mercury is actually dead. Nobody really told him, but he suspects it already. He's like, you know, he's like Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense.
Oh wow, look at this. Taking out so many of Mercury's units for free.
Yeah, those are donations right there.
Mercury is hanging on the thread of a thread right now.
There we have the army once again for Jjakji. Still no mining from the third base for Mercury. Jjakji getting a fourth while we are speaking about this.
+3 attack as well.
And yeah, now he's moving in. Bam, takes down the command center. Things, they didn't look good for Mercury early on, but now they look even
This is
worse.
just a slaughter, man. Jjakji seems to be on the next level here. This is the Jjakji we know and love.
Yeah, I mean, Jjakji is a great player. This is one of the reasons why we said he is one of the favorites to take a slot in the WCS Challenger League to make it through the qualifier here. He might still fall short, but in this game at least he's proving why he is such a strong player and such a strong opponent to face.
Nice bait on those Marines. Does get a few of them.
Mercury is desperate here. I mean, he knows exactly that he has to attack. He's in a situation where catching up is not an option anymore. So the longer he waits, the better the army for Jjakji will be because of the additional upgrades and also because Jjakji is building up a bank that he can use to remax.
Yeah. Right now, Mercury could start more upgrades. He actually has enough resources, and he's kind of maxed out in his supply. He's supply blocked. Yeah, I can't believe he's not starting those. One thing he can do, but he's not, and he walks right into Jjakji's army with the planetary. Even SCVs being pulled. Meanwhile, there's a drop at the National, eliminating the final of the SCVs. Mercury tries to break through here, and you know what? He does actually a great job of it. He has a defensive position here, and he's even up the supply.
He's even up the supply for now. He takes down the planetary, but at what cost, Wolf?
Oh, his army's out in the middle of nowhere. He's going to lose another command center.
Yeah, he's losing the command center over here. It's going to burn down eventually. Or will it? He might just be able to save it. No. It's going down, but what about the base that we have at the bottom right for Jjakji? Can he save it?
He needs to pull his SCVs.
The siege tanks are sieging up here. He's once again in the supply lead.
He could try to pull his SCVs and just come in here. This is not what he wants, though. Alright, he's going to drop on top of the tanks with those medevacs.
Yeah, nice drop here. Drops on top of the medevacs, moves in with those SCVs, puts the siege tanks into the fight as well, and now Mercury has lost his entire army. He has no mining in the main base anymore, except for those few mineral patches over here. The natural is the same, and GG's out of the game. Jjakji in the lead in this best of 3, heading now into game number 2.